There is a community atmosphere here at Richmond Community that I haven't found at the other high schools that I have worked at. Being so small, I get to know all the staff, all the students. That really makes a difference.
I think it's the best school in the country to work at. I think it's the best place in the country to work at. We get such outstandingly good kids to work with. I mean, they're just good people.
High school is not one of your conventional schools, not John Marshall, it's not Armstrong, it's not George Wilford Huguenot. Richmond Community sets apart from all other schools.
Smaller than most schools. It's more family-oriented, connected. You know everybody. I know just about every single student in this school.
Seniors know freshmen, freshmen know seniors, and all of that. It's like a family, like legit a family.
The rules and regulations of the schools, the high standards that they put you through, the classes that they give you, the people that you're able to meet, that's what makes it different. It's not like any other school.
When I first started attending, we were in the mosque, which is currently the Altria Theater. We were on the upstairs in some rooms up there. And then when I graduated, we were in the Moore Street building, which is behind Carver Elementary High School. We were learning things in the classroom, then we had opportunity to put them to use. So again, we're learning in our science class about the Chesapeake Bay, and then we could go out and actually spend time on the bay. We were charter schools before there were charter schools. So community did a lot of things that are happening in the education scope now in the education world. We were already doing those things back then.
I owe a lot to the school, and some of the main things that I'd say I really got out of the experience was previously I was really shy. I gained that confidence. I gained that ability here because it was tough. There was no denying it was tough, but it was a great place to fall. If you were going to fail, this is where you wanted to do it because there was going to be someone there who was going to dust you off, possibly kick you a little bit and say, get it together, now go do it.
Being intelligent wasn't necessarily highly valued among other peers outside the school, and so that was a time where you could connect with other people who had similar interests and feel like that was okay.
You know, some schools have homeroom. We had families, so it's not like you're just sitting there just waiting for the bell to ring. You know, you're talking about classes, you're talking about, you know, what you did, you know, the previous day.
Well, when I came in as an underclassman, a lot of the students gave me somebody to look up to go to for certain classes, and I did the same. And we play games together. We just do things as a family. Like, you can call it like a family game night. Like, we come together, we talk about things like that. So.
You know, I think it takes a special student to want to come here, commit to what the program is all about. The time that we took to bond as a class, explore different environments between, you know, camping out the Chesapeake Bay area, Virginia, to New York, to Boston, all of those, I think that kind of embodies what the school is all about.
I always tell people, I said, the community that I went to is not the community for this group of students, for the class of 2000, the class of 1999, whatever, any class, you know, it's going to be the time for them. But I do believe, you know, they still have the Chesapeake Bay experience, or the camping trip.
The camping trip really embodies the experience.
You're trying to finish out this 10-page paper that all freshmen have to do, and then you celebrate in the end with the camping trip, which may not seem like a celebration when you first think about it.
Once you hear that you're going camping for a week without your phone with people that you don't know, you hate it.
But once you connect with your classmates on a different level, on an emotional level, that's when you make that bond, and that bond lasts all throughout the years.
I'm going to say the Chicago trip, the band trip, changed my whole perception of everything music, and not a lot of people know about it or go on it, but seeing all these different great musicians that you would have never even been exposed to, knowing that they're that good, and it makes us like work a lot harder. It's the push we get after seeing these people play that is just inspiring.
The teachers are the backbone of it.
Well, all of my teachers during that time were quite memorable, but I would definitely say our principal, our lead teacher, Barbara Lynn Morris. She was definitely impactful because she was the leader and the shepherd of the group, and she kept us all in check.
Mrs. McGowan, she was like a second mother to all of us.
Ms. Case, she was the science teacher for chemistry and physics, and she had such a passion for it. She made it exciting.
Senorita Willis, Spanish class, Mrs. Gray with biology.
The teacher who probably had the most impact, ironically enough, was Miss Green. And so Miss Green was a stickler. And so I felt like she tormented me before I was ever even in her class.
Mr. Adams.
Miss Green told me in the hallway and said, go back. And I was like, but Miss Pratt told me to go. She said, I don't care. Jesus Christ told you to go. Go back to your office. So that was the kind of interactions I normally have with her.
Miss Kistler with AP English.
But in my junior year, I actually had her for a public speaking class. And so she graded some speech I wrote or some essay or something or another. And she gave it back to me, and it was the first time I'd ever gotten a C on anything. So I went back to her with it, and she was just like, here's the truth of the matter. From someone else, this is an A. From you, this is really an F, but I gave you a C. And so from that, I stopped measuring myself by what others would do and realized I had to give my best.
Mr. Wagner, Mr. Hardy.
Miss Westbrook, she was the senior advisor, and she coined the phrase to me, life goes on. And so I've always used that term when things are not going well, life goes on.
One of the special things about the school is that, I could probably state a special memory from pretty much every class that I had.
Mr. McCallum, he's a band teacher here, and he's pretty well known for getting people into, good music schools, and I'm going to Berkeley College of Music, so he's a big part of why I came here, just to expand my music horizon and get to where I'm going now.
We've grown the program. When I first came here, we only had 4 students in the instrumental music program, and we've been as high as 47. I just get to pull from a great cross-section of kids in the city. In my class, I have band and orchestra kids at the same time. I get to teach instrumental music, not just be the band director. I teach the whole child. A lot of schools, you come in and they just want you to have the band perform at a PTA meeting or perform at this other function, and you never get to teach music, and none of us went to school to be band directors. We went to school to be music educators, and I get to be a music educator.
Well, we are looking for a faculty and staff at Richmond Community that really will be committed to the mission of the school. Prior to coming to Community, my philosophy was no teacher should have any more than 2 preparations. That can't happen at Richmond Community. Mm-hmm. You have to have 3, some have 4 preparations. So we're looking for a teacher who would embrace the fact that you have to work a little bit harder at Richmond Community High School. You have to plan a little bit more. But we think the benefits outweigh it.
To watch these kids excel, even through high school and through college and into their careers, to watch these kids grow and mature into responsible citizens. We have doctors, we have lawyers, in all the professions. Police officers, firefighters, we have entertainers, we have it all.
That takes a real commitment level. And being so small, the faculty and staff here really has to take on multiple roles.
When I first started here, we were the only really alternative magnet program really in the country. We were such a hippie school. we had crazy things. We had one day where the kids taught all the classes, and whatever they wanted to teach, they would teach. And everybody would sign up to go to a class that was teaching. Our schedule, every day when you came in, you wouldn't really know what the schedule for today was going to be because you just come in and somebody would get a bright idea like, hey, wouldn't it be great if we all did like a group play today? And we'd be out on the football field simulating group plays.
So you have to make a commitment at Community that you might not have to make at a comprehensive high school.
Bear, where's my bear at? When my oldest daughter was born, when I had my first child, the kids pitched in and got me a little bear, and have still got him, keeping here in the classroom. So she's 21, so that was 21 years ago. I mean, there's just so many stellar and really stunning children over the years that I've taught.
I was at a much larger high school a few years ago that had 2,700 students. I never got to know all the students. We would have 750 freshmen, and 4 years later, we would graduate 425, and I'd wonder, what happened to all the kids? Where'd they go? I got to know the kids that were either very, very good or very, very bad. And we lost so many kids in between. Just doesn't happen here.
It's also kind of strange that I've been here long enough. I'm starting to teach the children and people that I taught. So it's kind of weird to see a kid come in and say, you know, you look really familiar. And they'll tell me your name. And I'm like, oh, your mom can't be that old.
Some of the challenges that we face being so small is that we don't get the dollars that other schools get. You know, the comprehensive high school, typically you are funded based upon the enrollment that you have.
I feel like there's a little bit of that automation that's happening. And it's a general pressure that's happening everywhere, with funding being tied to how many students attend the school.
When I was at another high school, I had a budget of $1 million. Here, I have a budget of about $18,000. It's a huge difference.
We've never been a favorite of Richmond Public Schools because they used to always say, well, all the smart kids are going to go there, then what happens with the testing in the rest of the schools?
When it comes to purchasing technology, there's very little you can purchase with that $18,000 outside of paper and pencil and office supplies that you need to carry out day-to-day instruction.
We lost our swimming program, which was a part of the school culture when they first started the school. It had a major impact on these kids, being able to swim. You know, African American kids, when you hear about drowning in a city pool, so it's usually an African American child. And we just lost the program about 6 years ago.
So we don't have those types of resources. So one of the things that we have to do at Richmond Community is we need the support of parents, the alumni, the advisory board to really generate the additional funds that move the school forward. Those funds support things like our Mini Master program, which is very unique. There's not another one like it in our school district, but it is a critical component of what we do here at Richmond Community. So we need to continue those types of things.
They still have family, and they still have community meetings, those things of sense of belonging that make the school important.
I just wanted a challenge, actually, and Richmond Community High School gave it to me.
You know, there's still some lasting relationships. I feel like I'm able to come back. I can contribute now.
You get so close with your class. It's like you're leaving your family when you graduate.
The spirit is still there, most definitely. We're still breeding these. I just came from the senior breakfast, and so just spending that time with the seniors and hearing how eloquently they can express themselves and their aspirations for their future and how determined they are, how focused they are.
I'd say respectful, each other, one. Definitely smarter than I was when I first came.
I see myself in a lot of them. I was just saying some of them earlier, and it's exciting. It's the community, the school itself has a bright future.
And lastly, do you have anything you'd like to say to the alumni that this is going to be shown at the 40th anniversary event, a message you'd like to tell them, your students over the years?
Yes, to the alumni, let me say I love you. I enjoyed teaching you, and it's great to see your accomplishments.
Well, if it weren't for those students, I would not have been as successful in my teaching career, because if they're not here, then there's no need to have me. So I wish them much success in their future endeavors, and let's go 40 more years for Richmond Community High School.
I want the alumni to know that they are the backbone of the school. This school started 40 years ago as sort of a experiment.
I love you all. It's you know, you say that and laugh about it, but it's just really gratifying.
40 years later, it's going strong. It is because we have a powerful alumni that continues to support this school.
A bunch of really special people over the years. I can't imagine a better group of folks to work with and deal with.
Support Richmond Community High School, your home. Always support your home. Congratulations and much, much success.